Hello everyone, my name's Ming. This video is for my CIS 3367 Spreadsheet Application and Business Final Project. For this project, suppose I am a small business owner and needed to keep track of who worked on what day and how much it costs. I also want to know how much I have spent on wages throughout the year to keep track of budget. I created an application in Excel using Microsoft Visual Basic to handle the situation. Let's get started. Here is the main menu. I have an attendance button to see the attendance sheet, a budget button to see the cost so far, and the employee list button to see all the employees. Here, I have a drop-down list for all my employees. This way, it will prevent me from making any typos. I'm going to select Bob and check the attendance sheet. Here is the attendance sheet. I can see the name, which is filtered by Bob, the date that he worked, the time that he started working, the time that he left, and if he took a meal break. Excel will calculate the hours worked as well as how much it cost that day. There is a button to return to the main menu. If I want to see the full sheet, I can use the See All button. This workbook is protected so that mistakes are harder to make. To add to the sheet, I have a button to add attendance. The attendance form will pop up. I also have a reset button in case I want to clear the form. The form also has some checkers. Suppose I forgot to type in the name of the employee. And try to submit. Confirmation box will come out, and I click the yes, and it'll give me an error message. It will alert me the section the error is in and focus on it. Let's complete this form. We see it here. Let's look at the budget for Bob. Here's the budget sheet. This is for Bob. And that in May, I paid about $300. And in June and July, he worked less, so it's less. I could also see the grand total for the year. And I could also see what the budget looked like with all the employees. Lastly, I have the employee list. As I mentioned before, the sheet is protected to make it harder to make mistakes. Here I can see everyone and their rates. I have a button to return to the main menu. And I have a button to add to the list. Let's add someone. The employee list will pop up. Here we can enter a new name and their rate. Same thing, I also added a checker in this form. Here I type in letters instead of numbers. It'll tell me that the rate is invalid and focus on it. I can reset the form and enter it properly this time. And submit with confirmation. It will tell me that the data is entered, and let me see it here in the list. Now let's look at some of the codes. Here is the attendance form, and in it, the codes to reset and to submit the form data. This is the confirmation box. This is to unprotect the worksheet and then call the submit process. And then sort the table after the data is successfully entered and protect the sheet again. This is the employee list form. And similarly, it has the codes to reset the form and to submit the form. Here is the module 1, where it handles most of the buttons. This is to jump to attendance sheet, to unprotect the sheet and filter by the name that was selected by the user, and then protect the sheet again. Here's the codes to budget sheet, and then protect the sheet. Refresh the data to the pivot table, and then filter by the name selected by the user, and then lock the sheet. Here's the codes for the See All button. You need to unprotect the sheet, and then clear the table filter, and then protect it again. And similar codes below. This is the second module where it handles the forms. There's the codes to reset the form, setting the text box to blank and then the background to white. We have the checkers here. Check if it's blank, and that the rate is numerical. And the setup for the error message. Focus and the red alert. Here's the code to submit data, finding its location, and then filling it in with the value from the text box. And then the success box. Similarly for the attendance form below. This concludes my final project presentation. Thank you for your time.